What's up, guys? So, I got asked a question in another video's comments about what do you think are some good, tips and advice that you could give to help yourself get through, the training process and marking up, and those first initial few weeks of being on your own as a conductor. Like, what kind of tips or advice I could give. So I want to lay down some rules of the land. I want to give you guys about my top 10 personal pieces of advice, tips and tricks to survive. Number one, and this is going to go for both, a lot of these tips are going to be for both ground school and when you're back on the division. Number one is safety. That's going to be the number one priority, is safety. Doing things safely, knowing, what to do, when to do it, and how to do it safely. What the book is going to tell you to do and stuff like that. So that's number one. Number two is going to be, especially in Georgia, I'm going to focus a little bit on Georgia first, down at McDonough, is being on time. Being prepared and being on time is crucial for being in Georgia and being on the job. But, I know this is going to be a big change for you guys. So always being on time for class, being at your right location, your reporting location for class and on time is going to be crucial. Show up early, be there 15, 20 minutes early than what you need to be, because then you can just kind of relax and still be waking up or doing what you do to get yourself ready for the day. Try not to be getting there right on time, because 9 times out of 10, all your other classmates are going to be there earlier ahead of you anyways, and you don't want to be that guy. Same goes for back on the division. When you're training, always know where you're supposed to be, what time you're supposed to be there, and again, be there early. Number 3, I would have to say, is knowing all the rules. We have a lot of books that we have, a lot of different rule books that cover a lot of different stuff. Some of it may not pertain to you as a conductor, but you're still supposed to be familiar with it in a little bit of a regard. You don't have to know it inside and out, but some rules are for other aspects of the railroad. But your rules that pertain 110% to conducting, train handling, and stuff like that, you need to know them inside and out. So study, take your time to look through your books and stuff like that. Number 4, do your homework in Georgia. It's going to help you a lot. Don't treat it as a vacation. Don't treat it as a free getaway. Do your homework. Do what you're told in class for your off class time and what you're supposed to review and look at and stuff like that, because it's going to help you a lot. Again, about a third of the course material that you'll be tested on at the end in Georgia is not going to be stuff that you covered in class. It's going to be stuff that you are required or been asked to, review and learn on your own. Especially signals. Signals is something that's not taught in class. They go over basic signal systems, but that's about it. You have to learn to chart yourself, and it's up to you to learn the information, retain it, and then put it into, use. Number 5, another good piece of advice, I can give you, and it'll go for Georgia and back up here in the division, is don't think too highly of yourself. You're brand new. Nobody trusts you. Don't get upset when you feel like somebody doesn't trust you, because this is dangerous work, and it doesn't take a whole lot to get yourself in a bad situation, cause an incident, derail something, get yourself hurt and or killed. It's very easy to do. So that's why a lot of these rules that you are going to be taught may seem mundane or kind of ridiculous, but there's a reason for it. 9 out of 10 rules that are written in that book are written in blood, especially all the core rules, all your core safety rules. They're there for a reason, because something happened to somebody and then they had to make a rule on it. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. Yeah, it may sound stupid. Why do I got to do it? But there's a good reason for it. 6, I don't even think I'm going to number these anymore. I'm just going to kind of just roll through, tips and suggestions I can give you. The next one I would say is take a lot of notes. Not a lot of guys are good test takers. Take a lot of notes. Try to study your notes, especially when you get back here on the division. As you go out on your training jobs and stuff like that, write down what you did that day, where you went, what you did, anything specific about that job that's different than other jobs that you're going to have to remember for the next time you see that job, maybe in 2 or 3 months. You're not going to remember all that, and you'll have some good quick reference material to look at. Next thing I can say is get yourself a decent bag. Keep all your stuff organized. Make sure that you have everything that you need. Again, that just goes along with being prepared, but getting caught off guard and forgetting something when you're far away from wherever it is that you forgot it is not going to be a good thing. Especially like, your lamp, your lantern, or your brake stick, or your radio, stuff like that. That's all stuff that you definitely don't want to be that guy and be like, oh, I forgot it back in the office, or oh, I forgot it in my truck. Yeah, you don't want to be that guy. That just kind of shows that, you're ill prepared. And some guys can think that you don't take the job serious enough, because those are the things that you always need to know where they are and that you have them. So being prepared and organized is definitely a number one thing I can tell you that's going to help you succeed and do well. Also, with that, understanding what you need for what job. Sometimes these jobs that we run, I need all my Amtrak rules. Sometimes these jobs we run, I need all my Norfolk Southern River Line stuff for going out on the NS main line. And it's all different stuff. I need like my Form D book and my Amtrak bulletins for when we go out on Amtrak. I need my Track Authority book and all my other bulletins and stuff like that for when we work NS mainline. Understanding when you need them and what you need is definitely a big deal. Time management is also another really good thing that I can hit on. Managing your time wisely, both on the job and at home. Especially at home, rest is the next big thing. Making sure that you've gotten enough sleep and that you are actually well rested for the job the next day. It's going to suck to get home after a job and you're going to sit home and play Xbox or whatever for 2 or 3 hours and then realize, oh crap, I got to be up in 6 hours, and then you only end up getting maybe 4 hours of sleep because you got an hour drive to wherever you're going. That can get you caught off guard, and it can make for a really bad day, a really bad long day. Ask me how I know. I've been there. Not necessarily I went home and didn't spend my time wisely, just I got a family to take care of, and sometimes I need to go home and take care of the kids after I get home from work, or I need to get up earlier than what I really need to help out with the kids before I go into work. So just understand that sleep is everything out here. It's money to you. It's worth a lot. It's worth its weight in gold. Making sure that you're properly rested, that kind of goes along with being prepared. Next thing is, when you come to jobs and stuff like that, they don't make pit stops for food. They don't really take breaks. Pack food, bring it with you. The suckiest thing ever is being stuck out somewhere, being hungry, and have no food left to eat. So bring food that you think will last you for about 10 hours or so. If you're on the road, expect 12 hours. You know what I mean? And light things. You don't have to, if you want to meal prep, you can. I don't really do too much of that, but get yourself a decent medium-sized lunchbox, understand what it can hold, and bring stuff. I bring like little things of applesauce. And don't forget your spoon. Did that before. But bring applesauce, puddings, crackers, chips, whatever you're into, you know what I mean? That's quick and easy to grab that you kind of eat on the fly. Now, some crews, they do take breaks here and there. Like if you've been working for a while, you just want to take a quick 5-minute in the cab and get some food in you. Other than that, we kind of eat as we work, or we eat on the run, in between industries, going from one industry to the next. I might have 10, 15 minutes till we get to the next job where we got to go shift out an industry, and I'll eat along the way. And I'll have ample enough time to eat whatever it is. But bring that, and especially, drinks. They do a really good job at making sure that you keep hydrated with ample amount of water, ample amount of ice, and so on and so forth. But if you want to bring something special, just make sure that you have it. So that's a big thing for especially being on the job here back on the division, is keeping yourself hydrated and keeping enough food with you. I'm not saying bring a picnic, but bring a moderate amount of stuff depending on what your eating style is like to snack on to kind of keep you moving. I've noticed that, for energy, I like the granola bars. Applesauce is something that perks me up a little bit with the sugar in it. If I'm starting to feel groggy, I'll do a thing of the applesauce and it'll kind of bring me back to being awake again. And I stray away from energy drinks. I get them sometimes here and there when I know it's going to be a long night, but I don't make a habit out of them because they're your worst enemy out here. Some people handle energy drinks different than others. Me, they don't really bother me that much. Other people, they get on that sugar high, then they crash, and that can be just as dangerous. Going into that kind of, sugar crash to where all of a sudden now you're worse off than what you were before. Just pay attention to that. You know your own body. You know what you can handle, what does what to you and stuff like that. So that's one of my biggest pieces of advice there is hydration and food. I'm actually here in the yard now, getting ready to go in here soon, working the overnight, 8 p.m. to, we get done about 5 a.m. or so. It's an Amtrak local out of Lancaster, and we go up and service a bunch of industries off the Amtrak main line, the Keystone corridor. Keystone corridor. But so I thought I'd just do a little tips and tricks, video. Somebody had asked about previous comments. Trying to think of other stuff without going on a big long rant. Oh, pens. Pens are worth their weight in gold out here too. I have about 12 of them in my bag, and I keep about 3 of them in my vest because you're going to lose them, and when you need one, you're not going to have one. Making sure that you're looking at car numbers, writing stuff down, stuff like that. Pens, again, they're worth their weight in gold out here, and always make sure that you have enough of them. A nice small little notepad, like one of those little flip notepads that are about yay big. They're nice to have out here for taking notes. Sometimes the yard master might give you a pretty lengthy explanation as to what he wants you to do next, and it might be tough for you to remember. So whipping out the pad and the pen and just shorthanding what your next moves are can be a great benefit instead of trying to remember it and then calling back in 5 minutes asking, I forgot what you said, can you repeat it? You don't want to be that guy. It happens. I mean, there's no shame in it, but just another thing. Kind of go along being prepared. Pen, paper goes a long way. A good pair of boots will also take you a good ways. Your feet out here will get beat from walking on the ballast all day long, and a uncomfortable pair of boots will make your life a living hell. I wear Carolinas, not the logger heel. I wear like a flat heel, a low flat heel. It just helps with balance. The logger heel always felt, it just made you feel unstable, especially like around the yards. The gravel, the ballast isn't too bad, but like there's section out on the main line that we were even at last night to where it's like that, and you're trying to walk on that. You'll twist and roll your ankle quicker in a pair of Carolina loggers than you will in anything else. Do guys wear them? They do. It's all personal preference as to what you like. If you feel like you like them, that's great. I personally don't. Try to get something that's, now steel toes aren't required, so you don't have to have steel toe, but definitely try to get something that's waterproof. It will help you a lot in the long run. It may feel a little bit warmer, but it will definitely help you without having to worry about another pair of boots for foul weather, stuff like that, because you never know when it's going to rain out here, and it could not rain for 5 days, and on the 6th day you're like, it's not going to rain today, and you're not going to bring any of your rain gear, or you're going to leave it in your truck and get on the engine and go, and I will put all money on it that it will rain on you while you're out there. That's just how it goes. That's the nature of the job. So being prepared in that aspect as well, keeping a rain jacket with you, spare pair of socks. I keep a spare pair of gloves as well, so that when the ones I'm working in get wet, after they get wet for a while, they start to get really slippery. And I'm working on handrails and stuff like that, they just slide. So I have an extra pair of gloves in my bag to when those get wet, I can put them in the engine on top of one of the low rack heaters, and then grab a fresh set. And once they're wet, I just change them out back and forth. After the other ones have had time to dry, I put those on and take those. So extra pair of socks for when your feet get wet, extra pair of gloves for when they get wet. Definitely a rain jacket of some sort. Some guys have full suits, it's up to you, but definitely some type of rain protection. Now, as far as cold weather goes, I haven't worked cold weather yet here, but in my previous employment working outside, cold weather on the railroad, definitely, dress appropriately. I think we're all adults here and you know how to dress for the cold. I wear a lot of Carhartt jackets. I like those jackets. That's what I wear, and they do me great for cold weather. But I can't really think of anything else really right now to cover without making this like a 2-hour video. So if you have any other suggestions for video content, something I should cover, anything like that, leave it in the message, or in the comments below. I enjoy so far. This has been my first real YouTube endeavor for a channel, and I really have enjoyed being able to cover a lot of the stuff that I've gone through and have experienced here at Norfolk Southern. It's been quite the experience. Not a lot of people on YouTube, I think, can really get into this kind of depth and cover first point of view what it's like to kind of go through this, because I know there's a lot of people that are curious as to what it's like, what the job's like, what you have to go through, and gaining employment, the application process, all the way up to now being marked up as a conductor. There's a lot of curiosity behind that, and I really enjoy being able to share the firsthand experiences that I've had to give you guys that insight. And I've really had a good time reading the comments, responding back to people, and helping people out that had questions about stuff. And actually a good bit of you guys that I've talked to are actually in the application process right now, or have had offers extended and are kind of working their way towards going down to Georgia. So and my biggest thing is when you get down there, just pay attention, ask questions, mouth shut, ears open kind of thing, and you'll be fine. Just do what they want you to do, and you'll be fine. Even up here, you just follow the rules, and you get into a good, safe routine to where you're doing things now the same way, and you're always kind of talking on the radio the same way, because it's not going to let you forget anything, and you're doing the steps the same way. Again, it's not going to allow you to forget anything. So a good, safe, thorough process that you can get yourself into and develop as you go will benefit you in the long run. Because when somebody was waving at me on the engine, I think that's my engineer, I have no idea. But the sooner that you can get into a good, safe work routine will be very beneficial, because it will leave you less room for errors and mistakes that a lot of people are looking for, to get you written up on and stuff like that. But if you cover your T's and dot your I's and just get into a good routine where you're doing everything the right way, you'll be fine. They know you're new. I had some talks here when I first came onto the terminal down here in Lancaster. Train masters pulled me aside and said, hey, you know what? You're doing a good job. We know you're new. We expect you to make mistakes. When you make mistakes, it's our job to help correct them and help you learn from them. Don't take it as an intimidation thing. You know what I mean? It's like, you're going to make mistakes, and we know that. And I love the train master that's down here. He's one of the coolest ones I've worked for so far, because he's from the ground as well. He was a conductor, and now he's a train master. So he understands what we're doing out there on a daily basis. He understands the stupid little mistakes that can be made and how sometimes they can catch you off guard and stuff like that. And he gets that. And when it comes to mentoring new people, he's been doing an excellent job at it. When you do a good job, he lets you know and he tells you that you're doing a good job. And that's great so far. I haven't had a bad experience in that regard. So I'm very fortunate to be in the position that I'm in, working with the group of guys that I am. It all kind of worked out. I can't say it's like that across the rest of the system, because I know it's not. But just for me down here in Lancaster, things aren't going too bad. So I'm going to jump off here and get myself ready for the night. Got to go out and do some train stuff. And I'll watch your guys' comments down below. And if you have any, again, suggestions for content, questions that you think I should make a video on, that'd be great. Let me know. So I'll catch you guys next time.